and welcome to the first video in what I hope will be a brand new weekly series where I talk about the latest news around films. I love talking about films, but because of certain happenstances going on in the world right now, I don't have much of a chance to annoy my friends with pointless film gossip.
Let me in! Let me in!
This is going to be a fun little project. I say little, and this video is most likely going to be over 20 minutes long with all the news that's broken out this week. And for the first story of the week, I feel that it's my patriotic duty to talk about one Mr. 007. While the release of No Time to Die, the latest film in the Bond franchise, is still up in the air, one thing that has pretty much been confirmed is that this will be Daniel Craig's last outing as the agent. And since then, there has been numerous actors who have been in contention for the role, ranging from Tom Hardy to Idris Elba to even Harry Styles. At this stage, they might as well make it a spin-off to The Masked Singer, but there's a new player who has entered the game, and that is Bridgerton star Regé-Jean Page. Obviously, this show has been a massive success on Netflix, and it's led to him being considered for the role, with even a post on his Twitter page having some fun with the famous shaken not stirred line, though personally I'm pretty sure that's just what happens to the world whenever they gaze upon him. He even responded to the rumours about him being up for the role, but played it down, basically saying that if any renowned British actor comes into the public eye, they start getting suggested for the Bond role, and I understand where he's coming from. Ultimately, we're not going to know until it's official, and I imagine the producers will want to make this an announcement, an event, much like they did when Daniel Craig got the role. Does anyone remember the backlash that Daniel got when he was cast? It's almost like you shouldn't judge an actor until you actually see their performance. In the end, these are all talented actors who are being considered, and I'm sure that all of them can play the role well when push comes to shove. Personally, my pick would still be Idris Elba, as I feel he gets the right mixture of suave and tough, but we're just going to have to wait and see. While we may be in a new year, we still find some familiar sounding news with film release dates getting changed. One of which was the Sony and Marvel film Morbius, which was set for March 18th but has now been pushed back and will be released on October 8th. This comes after the film was supposed to be set for the release of July 2020. Personally, I think they had to go for the October release date because of Jared Leto's method acting. He knew that if a vampire was going to walk down the red carpet, it would have to be during the spooky season. At this moment, it's still slated for a theatrical release, but of course this can change at any moment. Another film that got a new release date was Godzilla vs. Kong, but this is a film that has actually been bumped up. It was scheduled for May later this year, but it will now be coming out on March 26th. At this rate, we're going to get the whole film before we see the trailer. The film will have a simultaneous release for cinema and for HBO Max, this coming after numerous reports suggesting that Netflix were trying to bid for the film with an estimated $200 to $250 million. And this is probably linked to a lot of drama that's going on between Warner Bros. And Legendary Pictures regarding the films that they've worked on together. At the moment, it looks like Warner Bros. Are trying to resolve this by handing out payouts to the creatives involved. This is most likely involving contracts with certain cast and crew where they might have seen bonuses depending on their film's box office performance. Obviously, with the announcement that Warner Bros. Will be releasing all their 2021 films for cinema and streaming simultaneously, this means that every film is going to be impacted. While I do love the cinema experience, and I feel that there are certain films that are amazing to see on the big screen, there's a lot of places in the world right now where it might not be safe to travel and be in that kind of environment. Here in the UK, cinemas aren't even open because of our lockdown. We don't even have HBO Max here, so Warner Bros. Films will be released through other platforms. But I can understand the frustration of some, as it seems like they were being informed about this at the very last minute, and it's made negotiations very messy. Either way, it's going to be very expensive for all those involved. At this moment, I wouldn't be surprised if Warner Media staff tried to take the Animaniacs approach and hibernate for 2 decades. Who knows, by then we might finally get to see the Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. Speaking of HBO Max, they have released a trailer showcasing a glimpse or two of their upcoming films. One that's been getting quite a bit of notice has been the new Mortal Kombat movie, as we've not only got a synopsis, but our first official images from the film as well, and these images look incredible. I imagine that we will be getting a trailer soon, so it'll be amazing to see these characters in action. It's been stated that the film will contain the gore and the fatalities from the game, so on the surface this looks like it will have the aesthetic of Mortal Kombat. But the interesting aspect for me is the synopsis and how it seems like they're going to tackle the story. The film's protagonist will be a brand new character created for the movie called Cole Young, and it will be focused on him as he travels and sees many iconic characters from the game. I've already seen some detractors about this, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't understand why. Obviously fans of the games will want to see their favourite characters get their moment to shine, and feel that a new character who's unfamiliar will take away from that experience. On the one hand, Cole Young can be used as our eyes and ears to journey into this world and become an avatar for the audience, though I don't know if it'll work for this film, as one of Mortal Kombat's strengths has been its iconic characters, but in the end only time will tell. It still could be a fun ride. I'm going into the film hopeful. That mustache, is that Steve Harvey?
Nani?
Okay, in all seriousness, what kind of YouTube channel talking about movies would I be if I didn't find some way to fit some Marvel news into the mix? There's been 2 big casting rumours around actors that could be returning to the MCU, and while I do prefer talking about stuff that is officially confirmed, we can have some fun talking about the what ifs. or in this case, the Marvel what ifs.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
So, news started spreading that Chris Evans was in talks to return as Captain America for future Marvel projects. What those projects are isn't known, it's not even confirmed if he's actually in talks with Marvel. Chris Evans even tweeted about the situation, making it seem like he was just as clueless as the rest of us. Considering how secretive Marvel are with their scripts, that just sounds like the norm. Now, I do love Chris Evans in the role. Would I want to see more of him? Absolutely. But do we need to? I feel like his story has ended, and bringing him back now, especially so soon after Endgame, feels like it would dilute that impact, especially when it seems like Marvel is keen on the next generation. Then again, maybe Chris Evans will be back as old Steve Rogers and his contribution will be telling back in my day tales to the next Avengers.
Well,
If you say during the war once more, I'm going to pour this cup of tea right over your head.
I wasn't gonna say during the war.
Well, that's all right then.
During the 1939-1945 conflict with Germany.
Another casting rumour that's cropped up is that Charlie Cox has reportedly been spotted on the set of the upcoming third Spider-Man film. I'm taking this with a grain of salt. Until we get some kind of confirmation, this will be another bit of casting news that will be added to the seemingly never-ending pile of actors that are returning. Alongside Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Alfred Molina, if this is all really happening, then Tom Holland is going to be a cameo appearance in his own film. In fact, I don't think Chris Evans is coming back as Captain America. He might actually be reprising his role as the Human Torch for the upcoming Spider-Man film. But going back to Daredevil, I would actually prefer this. I think Daredevil could fit well into the story, especially if they're continuing from where Far From Home left off. And it would be a great way to reintroduce the character, especially to the younger fans who might not have seen him in his Netflix series. And if they're going to have She-Hulk be a lawyer for her upcoming Disney Plus series, you could even set up a courtroom drama series with the two of them. Look, if Marvel can make a series that tributes sitcoms through the decades, they can do courtroom superhero drama too. In more Marvel news, Kevin Feige has said that work has begun on Deadpool 3, with Ryan Reynolds returning to the role and overseeing the script. And while the Merc with the Mouth will now be joining the MCU, he will still be retaining his R rating. I'm really looking forward to this. I enjoyed the first two films and it's going to be so fun to see him interact with the MCU characters and their tone. Filming won't begin until 2022 at the earliest, but still, wishing the cast and crew all the best and looking forward to see how this will turn out. Meanwhile, it seems like Screen Rant were upset by the delays to the Phase 4 of the MCU. Guys, you might want to spell check this article. Okay, so my thought with this series would be that there will be a few stories to talk about during the week and it wouldn't be so overwhelming. That was a lie. There is so much that I wanted to mention, so I'm going to do a bit of a quickie roundup. The Sex and the City will be returning for a brand new continuation. Sarah Jessica Parker, Kristen Davis, and Cynthia Nixon will be reprising their roles. However, Kim Cattrall will not be returning. There's been some behind-the-scenes stories over the years, and she said that she has wanted to focus on other roles, so she won't be coming back for this. Production for the series will be beginning in spring 2021, with a release date still to be decided. John M. Chu, who was announced to be directing the first episode of the new Willow series for Disney Plus, has announced that he will be stepping down due to the production schedule changing, and he and his family are expecting a new baby on the way. That's completely understandable. I'm wishing him and his family all the best, and maybe he'll come back to the franchise in the future if the timing is right. The pilot episode of the upcoming Last of Us series on HBO Max will be directed by Kantemir Balagov. While he's young and doesn't have the most stacked filmography, the films that he has directed have been well received. His most recent film, Beanpole, even picked up a few nominations and wins at the 2019 Cannes Film Festival, so I'm confident that he'll be the man for the job. David O. Russell is getting his cast together for a new film, and I'm pretty sure that I'll be qualified to work at NASA upon seeing so many stars together. We have a synopsis for the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film coming to Netflix, and I just wanted to highlight this as I feel this show is vastly overlooked. If you're an animation fan, I encourage you to watch this series. In terms of action, I honestly feel it's up there with the greats in terms of spectacle. We've got a trailer for Clarice, a new series that acts as a sequel to Silence of the Lambs. It does look intriguing, but the interesting thing is that due to rights of the characters being divided between certain parties, there are certain characters that can't appear or even be mentioned, including Hannibal Lecter. It might work to the series' favour as it will allow it to stand on its own 2 feet, but we'll have to wait and see. We also got a trailer for a new horror film called Willy's Wonderland that bears a striking resemblance to Five Nights at Freddy's. You know what I think happened? I think that Nicolas Cage's agent came up to him and said that the producers of the Five Nights at Freddy's film wanted him to send in an audition tape, but Cage just went and made an audition movie instead. Don't act like he wouldn't do that, you know he would. Patrick Dempsey has confirmed that he will be returning for the sequel to Disney's Enchanted, and all is right with the world again. There's a feature film in development at the moment that's based on the Rubik's Cube. All I'm saying is Will Smith shouldn't be cast in the lead role unless you want your film to have a running time of 2 minutes. There's rumours that there could be a female protagonist in the still unconfirmed Grand Theft Auto 6. I don't really have anything to say about that. I'm too busy getting my popcorn ready because I know what the comments will be like if this rumour is true. Disneyland Resort in Anaheim will serve as a site for COVID vaccines. That's fantastic news and all, but I really hope the requirements for a vaccine isn't that you have to belt out an I want something more song for entry. Otherwise, I don't think I'll make the cuts. Bruce Willis was asked to leave a Los Angeles store for refusing to wear a face mask, and somewhere out there Hans is lamenting over the fact that it was apparently this easy to kick John McClane out of a building. There's been a lot of rumors that we'll soon be seeing the live-action debut of Star Wars antagonist Grand Admiral Thrawn. With that comes many theories about who will be cast in the main role. I've seen people like Benedict Cumberbatch and Robert Downey Jr. being linked for the role. Personally, I don't see why Lars Mikkelsen can't continue playing the role. We know he has the voice, and I think he can pull off the look. But I really wanted to talk about this just to show this amazing fan art of Will Ferrell as Thrawn, and I love it, and I actually wish that this would happen. The Don't Look Up plot, according to Leonardo DiCaprio's beard. This is how good of an actor Leonardo DiCaprio is. Even his beard is an extension of his skill. I've heard a rumor that his facial hair could be a contender for Best Supporting Actor for next year's Oscars. Netflix are going to have a busy year ahead of them as they've released a star-studded trailer showcasing what to expect from the streaming service in 2021. They've promised for a new film every week, and that's crazy to think about. As if my watch list wasn't long enough already, now Netflix have come along and said, here's a whole stack to slam on the camel's back. But Netflix may soon have competition, as one of the most anticipated series is slowly creeping over the horizon. Amazon's new series based on the world of Middle-earth by J.R.R. Tolkien now has a synopsis confirming that this will take place thousands of years before the events of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. While it's hinted that a few familiar characters will return, I'm glad that they're going in a new direction for the series. I like new stuff, and I feel that for something as grand and imaginative as the world of Middle-earth, it would be more fun and interesting to see new things from the series rather than repeating what we already saw in the films. It sounds like Amazon are going all in for this series. Apparently it's going to be one of the most expensive ever made. Plans for a minimum of 5 seasons with 8 to 10 episodes per season. It has a lot to live up to, and I can't wait to see how this turns out. The 2-part pilot is already in post-production, so we might hear more from the series very soon. Finally, I wanted to end this video on some positive news, especially as it carries over from a year that has been less than ideal to say the least. So to explain this as best as I can, last year there was a TikTok trend that went viral last year, with people coming together to create a musical based on the Disney Pixar film Ratatouille. It was really amazing to see this play out in real time over the latter half of 2020. Even the cast and crew from the film joined in to sing its praises, and that pun was absolutely intended. Recently there was a musical benefit performed by actors from Broadway joining in, and it managed to raise over $2 million for the Actors Fund organization, and that is absolutely incredible. So that is it for the start of This Week in Movies, or as I like to call it, TWIM. I don't know if that name is going to stick, and I don't even know if I want that name to stick. Please do let me know your thoughts and opinions on the stories that we covered. I do hope to make this a regular series, and if you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe for more updates. You can also follow me on Twitter and my other social media links down below. So bye for now, and take care.